Hola, mi gente. You haven't seen me, but I'm back, right? You haven't seen me since that drama, but let's get back to my show. Hello, this is On the Block with Jen. I am Jen, and I'm happy to see you guys here today. This isn't gonna be a long broadcast, right? This is gonna be fun though, because we're gonna talk about drugs and addiction. And you're like, drugs and addiction? Yeah, but this drug in particular, your body makes on its own. It is called dopamine, right? And some of you guys are going to be way ahead of me on this. Some of you, experts in science and bodies and biology and things like that. I'm going to keep it really, really simple. This is like social media addiction for dummies. And I'm just going to explain to you briefly what exactly it is you're going through when you're on social media and why you're spending so much time on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, specifically specifically Facebook and Instagram, right? So dopamine, what is dopamine? A lot of you guys are like, duh, dopamine is X, Y, and Z. A lot of people may not know, right? So I like explaining things so at least you know what it is you're going through, right? So dopamine is basically a chemical your own body creates, right? And it's the chemical responsible for making you feel satisfaction and achievement. And, it's the thing that drives you, right? It's the thing, like, let's say you're running a race and you win and you come in first place. That dopamine kicks in because you're like, oh my God, look at what I just achieved, right? It can be something as big as that. It can be something as small as, hey, I wanted to dress really nice today and I wanted to get compliments from a lot of people. And here I am outside looking nice and I'm getting all these compliments, right? You got motivated to go out there and then that dopamine kicked in and the dopamine makes you feel good, right? So how is that related to social media? You're probably wondering. So social media gives you false senses of dopamine. It creates fake dopamine. Now, let me break this down a little further. There was an experiment done with rats, right? In a lab. True story. There was an experiment done with rats, right? Rats have to hunt for food, right? They spend their whole life scurrying around hunting for food. Whenever a rat finds food, they create dopamine, right, in their body because it's like, oh shit, I was looking for food. I found food. I'm eating food. This feels really good. I just achieved my goal of looking for food and finding food and eating it, right? So dopamine was created in their body after that achievement of finding food, right? It's an achievement to them, right? Just like when we go out to achieve things and then we do, the dopamine kicks in like, oh my God, I did it. So they experimented with these rats. And what they did was they were shooting dopamine in them, right? So the rats were thinking that they were achieving something, right? The same feeling they got from actually going out and looking for food and getting the food. So they were no longer letting the rats go out and get food, right? They were just shooting them up with dopamine, right? So what happened to the rat was because he kept thinking he was achieving these things with the fake dopamine that they were injecting in him, he ended up, you guessed it, starving to death. The rats starved to death. That was the result of the experiment. Similarly, that is what happens to you when you are online getting fake dopamine. And what do I mean by fake dopamine, right? Back in the day, we were very active people, naturally human beings and naturally out and about and achieving things and hiking and climbing mountains and, hunting and fishing. And some people still do that. Some people still do that. They're connected to the earth and, they get that natural dopamine going. But millions and billions of people are online right now, today, as I speak to you online, and they're getting fake shots of dopamine, just like the rats in the lab. And what happens to you? Anybody want to guess? So what happens is you stop living in your natural state because now what you're doing is posting pictures of hiking and you're not really hiking the way normal people hike. Now you're posting pictures of being out and about and you know damn well you weren't really out and about. You just wanted to take pictures out and about so you can post it, right? Some of you are in relationships that aren't good, but what do? You're still posting that guy or that girl because you like the feeling that social media gives you when people are clicking like and complimenting you, right? It's fake dopamine. It's not real, right? And as we know, a lot, or some of us don't know, right? We go on social media and we start believing what we see. Oh my God, these guys, this couple looks so happy. Oh my God, look at all the traveling this person's doing. Oh my God, they hiked that mountain. I wish I could hike that mountain. Oh my God, they were in the gym and they're lifting so heavy, right? So what people are doing now is they're looking for that dopamine fix online instead of in real life. So I have some homework for you guys, right? And this is going to help you a lot. There are 3 things I would like you to watch that's going to really, really break down the science of what I'm saying. And I typed it in the description as well, in case you forget or you don't have a pen on you right now. It's very, very, very important that you watch these 3 programs. Okay. It will blow your mind. Right. And some of you are saying, well, I'm not addicted to social media. I can get off when I feel like it. I'm not on it. But you can try this experiment on your own. Whenever next time you're in a group of friends or around your family, I want you to take your phone out. And I want you to see what the other people around you do. Just a cute little experiment. Everyone in your family or your entire friend group, they all have phones, right? I want you to just casually sit there or be standing there, whether it's at dinner or out and about or sitting in a park, and just pull your phone out and then see what happens to the people around you. But you have to do it if no one else has their phone out. And I want you to see the chain reaction that goes amongst your group. Everyone is going to take their phone out after you do it. I promise you, do this experiment. I've done it a million times. It works a million times, okay? Next time you're in a group of friends or family, pull your phone out and see how everyone simultaneously follows you, right? Now, where else does that happen? That usually happens when people are either drinking or smoking cigarettes, right? This has become a habit that we don't even know that we have. And that's why I'm explaining this, right? And some people are what you call a functioning addict, where they could be on social media all day and still take care of their lives, right? You got functioning addicts, you got people that are so consumed. All they are is this phone. We're telling our kids, get off the phone, because we're telling our partners, get off the phone, right? We're at dinner on dates. We're telling the person across the table, can you get off the phone and pay attention to me? So when you keep hearing these conversations, you have to know that this is a real thing, and it's happening, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, the 3 things, the homework that I have for you, and it's going to be in the description, but these 3 things they just blew my mind, because they break down, right, to the tiniest eon, what it is that's happening to your mind, your body, right, and your brain function when you're on the phone and on these social media platforms. So I'd like you to watch, and again, I'm going to put it in the description. I'd like you to watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. The Social Dilemma on Netflix is the most thorough, right? It is the most thorough breakdown of how people that work for Google and Yahoo, and you're going to see a lot of executives that used to work for these actual companies, explain how they were getting paid to keep you scrolling, right? There are actually boardrooms where a bunch of men go in, and women, and sit down and scheme on how to keep you online, from what colors they use, from what keywords they use, from the games that they throw out, all those little debates that go on, like, women should make their husbands plate first before their kids. Things like that are thrown out on social media because it creates chaos and debate and argument. So you have to think, humans are pretty much easy, right? Humans are pretty much like cattle. You point, they go, right? So I can throw out, let's say if I want you on my page for about 3 hours, all I have to do is throw up a meme that says, you know what? It's disrespectful for a man to let his mother sit in the front seat before his girlfriend, right? Eureka. Now you're arguing with 20 people you don't know just because you think his mother should be in the front seat, or just because you think his girlfriend should be in the front seat. So that's what The Social Dilemma explains. And they also explain how they cookie cut it for the user. Because as you know, when we sign up with these apps, they get a lot of information from us, right? We hit the little clicky thing that it says, hey, have you read all your rights? And we're like, yeah, I read it. And we click because we want to make the account, right? But in that fine print is just them basically probing you and your habits. So everyone gets a cookie cut thing, right? Like if I like Nike sneakers, as you know, the Nike ads will constantly pop up on my page. The phones, as we know, it's not even a myth anymore. The phones listen to everything you're saying. So if I say Rolls Royce 10 times today, tomorrow I'll wake up and scroll and there'll be Rolls Royce cars, on my newsfeed. That's how it works. It's cookie cut to everyone individually. So please watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. They break it down. You're talking to the actual executives are talking to you, telling you how it is that they keep you online, the games they play, the programs they do to keep you online. Because the goal is to keep you online as long as possible, right? And back in the day, we used to all use the excuse like on Facebook, oh, I'm only on Facebook, to keep in contact with my family. Remember that? Remember how cute that sounded? Oh, I'm only on Facebook because, it keeps me in contact with friends that I don't live near. Remember that? How cute that was? And now the first thing we do in the morning after we yawn is we reach for our phone, right? The last thing we do at night before we go to sleep is we reach for our phone, right? And then throughout the day, you have that adrenaline of, oh my God, I posted something. I need that dopamine. Back to the dopamine. If I can look back at the picture I posted or the meme I posted and I see that 100 people liked it, I got that fake dopamine, right? I don't need to go outside and achieve anything. I don't need to get a hobby. I don't need to run a race because I know when I post this meme, that dopamine is going to kick in because 100 people like me. 100 people like what I did, right? So it's the fake dopamine, just like the rat, right? And eventually your body and your mind starves, right? So we have to be very careful to wean ourselves off. Me personally, FYI, I quit Facebook. I had 2 pages, but I was spending way too much time here on the social media platform. And so you're speaking to someone who went through it, who realized I'm addicted to this crap. I'm wasting so much time and so much of my life. And speaking of wasting time and life, our children are growing up watching us. And they're picking up the same habits, and their friends have the habits, and their friends' parents have the habits, and it's not an age thing. I mean, from little toddlers to grandparents are now on social media. So it's affected all of us. It's a huge addiction. And I think it's silly to ignore it, right? Because a lot of people, I'm not addicted. It's silly to ignore it, right? And they say 50% of the problem is defeating the problem is to acknowledge that you have a problem. So these are just little things that I'm giving you, so you understand what it is and why you're constantly looking at your phone and drawn to look at your phone. So The Social Dilemma on Netflix is an excellent resource. So you can see how these programs are done on a daily and how every day they're thinking of new ways to keep you online, right? Also, Fake Famous on HBO Max. I love Fake Famous on HBO Max because, as you know, on Instagram, you could buy hundreds and thousands of followers. So I see like the arguments that go on online. Like if someone disagrees with you, they'll say, oh, you only have 10,000 followers. Yeah, nobody likes you, nobody follows you. So now there's actually a system, right, in place in people's minds where if you don't have a certain amount of followers, you're worthless. You're useless. It's like you don't even count on this planet if 100,000 people aren't following you, right? They're using followers now to measure worth, which is really bizarre. But that's what the human mind has morphed into. How many followers do you have before I listen to you? Oh, you only got 300 followers. You ain't nobody. Like they're literally using that as a measuring system. So that goes to show how deeply embedded this social media system is now in human beings, right? It's crazy, but that's how they're measuring people now and their worth. And that takes me into so Fake Famous on HBO. Really quickly is a program where they took just 3 regular people who weren't famous online and gave them fake personas, fake images, and fake followers. They gave them hundreds of thousands of followers to see how people would react to them. And they literally made them famous overnight. That's why it's called Fake Famous. And it's a documentary. So it takes you through the lives of those 3 people. And some of it turned out really badly. And some of it was received well because some of the people liked being famous now, right? But it shows you what can happen when you're social media famous. And it shows you also how fake it is. A lot of celebrities that you see have 50 million followers, 60 million followers. The cat's out the bag, honey. You can buy as many followers as you want. Now, the problem before was you would buy a bunch of followers, then the likes didn't match. People were like, how do you have 50 million followers, but you only have 100 likes? So now they're selling likes. And now they're selling spins on YouTube. So all of this is fucking fake, right? We have Instagram models who have 10 million followers. Then you look at Janet Jackson, who is a global celebrity, and she only has 3 million. So you have to use your common sense, right? If it doesn't add up, if it's not making sense, you know what I mean? More than likely it's fake, right? I've seen some Instagram models who have like 10, 15 million followers. And I'm like, how are these people who are on TV programs every single week? How are these people that went platinum global? How do they have 1/10 the followers of these people that we're looking at, these Instagram personalities? And it is because you can buy all of it now. So even when people are like, oh, you only got a little bit of followers, you're not as important as such and such. That such and such probably bought those followers because it means more money, because a lot of people looking in are enamored by people having a following. It's like, oh my God, right? This is a celebrity worshiping driven country. So in their minds, you have 100 million followers, you must be somebody. So let me follow you, right? And half of those people, those followers aren't real. And I'm talking about the biggest of the big. I'm talking about the Kardashians. Anybody say half of those followers are probably fake. When you think about it, why would 500 million people follow one particular person? It's just unrealistic, right? So watch Fake Famous, and it'll break down how and why people do it, buy fake following, and what it does to their image. Also, in the industry, now a lot of people want to know. As you guys know, I'm an actress. Back in the day, they didn't care about your social media. Now, one of the questions is how many followers do you have? So a lot of, wannabe comics, wannabe actors, what they're doing now is buying fake followers so they can have an edge over the next person auditioning and what have you. We have a bunch of corny non-comedians on Instagram who are just yelling in their cars at the camera, buying followers, getting a following, and then they can get club dates and they can get booked at these comedy shows. I told you on this channel, I'm gonna put you up on game. I'm gonna be big sis, I'm gonna be mama, I'm gonna be auntie. So a lot of these cats are just, on top of buying fake followers, they're just yelling at the camera. They don't really have a following. And a lot of people do follow them and share their material, but half of that is fake. And what they do is they use it as leverage to get booked for gigs that they're not even qualified for. That's why you see people come and go. That's why people are really, really famous on Instagram, but it doesn't translate well to film, and it doesn't translate well to stand-up comedy. So these people come and go, right? So it's like a conveyor belt, and they come and go, and they come and go, and they come and go. In order for you to have longevity in this country, you have to have a great network. In the entertainment business, you have to have a great network because it's about who you know, but then you have to have some talent and skill, right? And that's why you see people come and go, because they don't have that. They just have half of the followers of you guys sharing stuff, and then half are fake, and it doesn't translate well to the bigger corps, right? Speaking of the bigger corps, they now have a system to find out if your followers are fake. So I know a lot of you are thinking, if it's that easy, I'm just gonna go buy me some followers. If that's great for like local work, but if you want to, let's say, be endorsed by Nike or Pepsi or a company like that, they now have a system where they can find out whether or not your following is fake, right? Dig that. So we're at 2 now. I want you to watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Fake Famous on HBO Max will break down how people are fake famous with fake followings. And Black Mirror, the series on Netflix, it's amazing. It's like a new age Twilight Zone. Season 3, episode 1 on Netflix. Black Mirror on Netflix. Season 3, episode 1. Okay. And again, I left it in the caption in case you're not catching it now. Black Mirror season 3, episode 1. What's up with that? It shows what happens, right, to human beings who desperately want to be liked and followed on social media. It is a great, great episode. I don't want to give too much of a spoiler, but it shows what happens to people when they must be liked. And again, how they put value on people who have a bigger following. Mi gente, you have to know what it is you're dealing with. This thing can be poison if used incorrectly, and 90% of the people are using it incorrectly. I'd say 10% are using it for business and making a lot of money on it because you guys are falling for the following that they have. So those are the 3 things I recommend. They're in the caption. The Social Dilemma on Netflix, Fake Famous on HBO Max, and Black Mirror Season 3, Episode 1. Okay, and it's called Nosedive. So I just want you to know what you guys are dealing with, because this is real heavy stuff. I think it could be dangerous in a way where it's like, oh, you're not gonna, I mean, you can run into a car, but it's dangerous in a way where it's so distracting, but it's so distracting from the most beautiful thing you have, which is air in your lungs, right? And that's the most beautiful thing you can have. Your children are healthy and happy, your parents are healthy and happy, your siblings, your mate, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, right? Those are the most beautiful things in life. When those people are around you and laughing and smiling and happy, that is the most beautiful thing in life you can have. And we are entirely missing out, living for people, living with people, and entertaining people that don't mean two rats' asses to us, that we're never going to meet, that we don't make money with, that we don't care about. And we're on these machines constantly, continuously arguing with them and debating them. You are not changing minds, and they are not changing your mind. So why give them 2-3 hours of your lifespan? Okay, so I'm telling you, if you watch these programs that I recommended, it will break it down for you, and it'll light that light bulb over your head and say, should I be spending so much time on these apps that are giving me nothing back while I'm making someone a billionaire and keeping them a billionaire? Because Zuckerberg, let's keep it clear, billionaire, Yahoo, billionaire, Amazon, billionaire. These are billionaires, but they're not billionaires without you, right? You are maintaining their lifestyle and their billions. You're giving and giving and giving all these man hours, right, to these people, and they're just sitting back. They're not online. They're not on social media. You know what they're doing? They're looking for the next program to throw on these apps to keep you there. That is what they're doing. While you're on there over and over and over for hours, what they're doing is they spend a couple hours in their boardroom and say, hey, let's think of another way to keep them online. I know, we'll add extra emojis. Humans love emojis. Let's change the emojis for Mother's Day. Everyone's gonna want to be online and use the Mother's Day emoji. You know what I mean? So it's all a mind fuck. You know what I mean? So you have to be. Do you want to be mind fucked? I don't know. You know, a lot of people are also escaping pain with social media. They don't want to deal with real life. They get to live full lives behind, an avatar. Right? I can be back here. I don't have to get dressed. I don't have to comb my hair. I don't even have to eat. I could just go online and talk to people, and that'll fulfill my day. Again, fake dopamine. So it's keeping you, if you're a depressed type of person, or you suffer from depression, this makes it 10 times worse. So I would really advise you at least watch the programs that I recommended to you. This is a very dangerous thing when you're not in full control of it. And I found myself not having full control of it. I'm not a person who has vices. And I felt like, oh my God, this is the first time in my life, like I have a freaking vice. I'm addicted to a social media app, which is why I quit cold turkey. Now, I just have that type of personality. You may have to wean yourself off, but I'm telling you, weaning yourself off is really, really hard, because these things are very, very tempting. All your friends are on it. Your family's on it. The memes are fun. The feedback is fun. You want to feel like people like you, even though it's fake. You know what I mean? These people don't know you, so there's no reason to like you if they don't freaking know you in real life. And it's too easy to click a heart, you know what I mean, on a post. It doesn't mean anything to the other person that's clicking the like, but it means the world to you, because you're being accepted. You're looking like crap at home, but you posted that best selfie, right? So you can continue looking like crap. Where if you're not addicted, with the person that is complete and whole would want to feel good and look good all the time. But what social media does is you don't have to look good all the time. You don't have to feel good. And what I mean by look good and feel good is your look good and feel good, because we all have a different look good and feel good, right? I'm not talking about standards of society, but you know when you're at your best. You know when you're happy. You know what weight you want to be. You know how you like dressing. You know how you like smelling. So that's a real life when you're doing that on a daily. A real life is not acting like you're like that and posting that perfect picture online. Sorry, something popped up on my screen. I hate this. Okay. So guys, that's what I wanted to leave with. I'm sorry if I was talking fast, but I actually have to get back to my real life. I'm having a really good Sunday. I spent the whole weekend with my family. off the phones, which is something I highly recommend. So please, please, please watch those programs. I promise some of you will be freed. Some of you will be forever addicted, unfortunately. But I just want you to know what you're dealing with. I told you on this page, I'm going to tell you like it is, whether people like it or not. So I just literally gave you all the magician tricks of how they levitate and do the card tricks and the 3-card. I just told you what they're doing. These people from Yahoo and Google and Facebook are literally on the social dilemma explaining how they are paid to keep you on your phone. So please look at that and spend more time with your family and loved ones, because time flies. Time flies. And one of my favorite sayings in all the world is the biggest mistake people make is thinking they have time. I constantly preach that to my family. I constantly preach that to my friends, and some of you have become my friends. So now I am preaching it to you. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they have time, right? And we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You don't want to be in your deathbed. You don't want to be dying. You don't want to be in the middle of an accident, taking your last breath, thinking, why didn't I spend more time? Why was I on Facebook with people I don't care about who don't care about me? Why did I do that? That's a regret you do not want to have. So please take my advice, watch those programs. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. Ready to start the week again with real dopamine, okay? Not dopamine from likes, but real dopamine. All right, guys. So hey, Walter, it's so good to see you. All right, guys. So hello. Ling Paul, am I addicted? I answered that in the beginning. I said I was very much addicted to Facebook, and that's why I quit cold turkey. I didn't like the feeling I was getting. Another thing that you know, and I'll leave you with this, you know you're doing the wrong thing when you quit doing something, right? Like for the day, you're on Facebook all day and then you quit, and you don't feel good inside. You don't really feel like you achieved anything. You feel like you wasted time. While you're on it, the adrenaline's going, the dopamine is going, so it feels good. But when you log off for the day, you feel like crap. And then the next day happens, you're like, what did I achieve yesterday? Not a damn thing, but debating about Trump and Biden with some asshole I'm never going to meet, right? So that's how you know. Also, since I quit Facebook, I have a lot more time. I've been a lot more creative. To my writers out there, to my artists out there, I promise you, if you quit these social media pages, speaking of Walter, he knows about this. When you quit these pages, you have a lot more time for the creative, beautiful, wonderful, amazing, loving human being that you were meant to be. So please watch the programs I recommended. You will be better for it. And I see you guys really, really soon. Hey guys. Okay, so I gotta go, guys. Also, if you have recommendations, please, each one teach one. If you have recommendations for programs I should watch that are about this particular subject, on this subject, I would love to hear it. Leave them, whether it's articles or books or whatever you got. Any programs that you saw speaking on this subject, let your homie know. All right, guys. So hey, Sharp. All right, guys. So please subscribe. Share this video if you felt it was informative and your family can get something out of it, because sometimes it's hard for us to speak to our family. Sometimes they hear it better from a stranger. So share this with your family if you think it will help, or your loved ones, or whoever, your children. Also hit subscribe and the notification so you know when I'm going live, because I never know myself. I just pop on, right, when the urge hits me. And that's it. This has been another episode of On the Block with Jen. All right, guys. Bye. Don't forget, leave your recommendations in the comments. And please, when you watch these programs, come back to this video and let me know what you thought, and let me know if it freed you, and let me know if you learned anything, because it make me feel good to know that I helped somebody else. All right, guys. So good night. Have an amazing week coming up. You will see me again this week. Okay. Bye.